Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Moldavite. And I actually haven't worn the ring since I got it and was wearing it during 2019, and I can already feel it. This is a very powerful, it's not a crystal, it's a tektite. I know people call it a crystal and I might accidentally refer to it as a crystal in this video, but I'm going to try to make sure I remind myself that it is a tektite. I'm wearing my Moldavite ring. I got this in 2019 and it definitely changed my life in the sense of doing shadow work. There's gonna be so much I'm gonna cover in this video actually, so you might want to grab some tea or something to drink because I don't know how long this video is gonna be, and there's some very personal stories I'm going to share with you. Also, I'm going to give you a little bit of history about Moldavite, its origins, where it comes from. And yeah, so if you'd like to hear my journey with Moldavite, then please keep watching. So it was 2019 and I was in the midst of a divorce. I was in the midst of going through so much in my life. Like there was just so much chaos happening. And I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? People say Moldavite is life-changing. I'm already having so much havoc in my life. What is this tektite crystal gonna do for me, right? What can it possibly do in this moment to make things even much worse than they already are, right? That was my mentality going into Moldavite. Because I remember when I first came across Moldavite, somebody had it and I could feel, even through the jewel case of where it was, I could feel it radiating some energy. Like it almost felt like, again, to me, the best example I can give you is how I felt my Kundalini energy. Now, everybody feels Kundalini energy differently, but it had a similar effect in my body of how I felt. Like those, a lot of people, when they hold Moldavite, they feel an intense heat. Like they call it the Moldavite flush, right? And I'll talk more about that in the video. But yeah, it was 2019. I started doing research of the origin of Moldavite, and I took some notes. So let me read it from my notes, you guys, because then I don't want to miss anything. So, okay, this is what I found out. So Moldavite, about 14.8 million years ago, a meteor struck what is now known as the south of Germany, creating the Nördlinger Ries crater. The impact was so powerful that it melted surrounding Earth rock and blasted that molten material high into the atmosphere. And then as it cooled, it turned into a rare green natural glass called Moldavite. That's what gives it the green, like an olive green effect. There, and you can, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's kind of hard to get this shot. It's funny, I was thinking like, do I wear it? Or, well, I'm gonna touch it for the video. It's not like I can't touch it. Some people don't even want to touch the thing anymore after they've worked with it. That's the other thing. If it gave negative impact, a lot of people are scared of it. Even the lady, when I was buying it, she was like afraid to touch it. So anyways, those pieces then scattered and fell mostly across the Bohemian region of the Czech Republic. So think about this. The impact was so strong that it actually hit southern Germany, blasted itself into the air, back to the earth, and then that's what we have now in the Czech Republic, in the Bohemian region of the Czech Republic, known as Moldavite. And this is what Moldavite has been known for. It's got its, people say it's definitely a crystal that came from the extraterrestrials. It's got extraterrestrial origin. People that work with it feel totally different sensations than they do with any other crystal. I've heard people say, I didn't believe in crystals until I worked with Moldavite. Okay. Before we get into my story, I want to tell you a little bit about what Moldavite is actually known for. It helps with spiritual awakening, opening intuition, dreams, psychic sensitivity, and higher awareness. That is one aspect of what it does. It also helps to activate your heart chakra and clear out old grief, blocks, emotional patterns, and stagnant energy. Like it just starts moving that. And you can actually feel it because when I get into my story, I'll mention that. And again, this is why I got it, was for the shadow work. I wanted to release fears, and that's something that it does. It helps you to release fears, avoidance, and self-deception and it brings it into the surface. This is where people go when something didn't serve them, all of a sudden it wasn't there in their life anymore. And in the moment you don't realize it, why this is being stripped away from you is because it didn't serve you. And that's part of the shadow work too. The life changes, we'll get into that. Sudden changes, new opportunities, moves, career pivots, identifying shifts, relationship recalibrations. A lot of people that I've met when they worked with Moldavite had sudden breakups. Synchronicities, this is the big one. I noticed this a lot when I was wearing Moldavite in 2019, is that people often were saying that things were just lining up for them. And that's one of the things that I noted in my notes here. And I also have my journal. This is notes from that and my journal. So anyway, synchronicities. People often say that things start lining up. They notice number patterns. Things feel fated. Like things feel like they're just lining up. That's the way that I would word it. And then I had an energetic detox period. You guys heard me talk about detox periods with crystals in the past, like when I've worked with shungite, which I'll do another video about separately. I feel like that's a great video. But when I took shungite to Mount Shasta, I was getting energetic detoxes. Moldavite did something similar but slightly different, but it is known for energetic detox. It can be like old energy being pulled out of your field, which some people may find very, very overwhelming. Like it can be. It's more energetic. This works very energetically. There is obviously, like I said, some body sensations, but this is very energetic. So yes, there's a lot of things associated with Moldavite. Moldavite to me is like a shamanic energy. Like there's something to it. It's just so powerful, and it takes you on a journey. It takes you on a journey. You think you're gonna go on, you think you're taking it on a journey, it's taking you on a journey. So I wanna talk about when I got Moldavite, what did it do, my own personal experience now that we've covered kind of the spectrum of what Moldavite is. I wanna get into my story of what happened with it. So like I mentioned, it gives you lucid dreams and things like that. Well, like I got it during May of 2019. Let me just double check here. Just want to make sure. Yeah, so I got it during the mid-May of 2019. And okay, yeah, because I say day 3 of Moldavite. Oh God. So May 21st was day 3 of Moldavite. I wrote it here in my journal. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, so how I started with it, because it says day 3 of Moldavite, and I already have noticed people's energies and what it's doing to my entire being. So I was noticing like people were noticing me more. I was noticing I was getting approached more. I was more standing out to people. I remember the first day I wore it, some guy was trying to get my phone number. That was a little bit weird. I was like, and he came up to me while I was working. Like I was running machines and he literally came up to me. But then what I write here is that I was worried that wearing 2 of them together would be too intense. But what I did was I actually started with a smaller piece. I started with just a pendant. You can see this is much smaller than my second, what I got. But I started with this, and I kind of remembered seeing the ring there. And these also came with like little cards. I have it somewhere. Oh, I guess I left it upstairs, but they came with authenticity cards. First couple of things that I noticed after wearing it was the body sensation, the Moldavite flush that people talk about, where I could feel the intense heat coming, a little bit of like, it feels very crown activating. It is known for crown activation. It's also known for the heart chakra activation, which I can actually feel it right now, which is hilarious that I have not worn this for almost 7 years. Is that right? I put it into its box, left it there, where I have a box of crystals, and I put it away, and it's been under my bed for that long, and I haven't worked with it since. So this is the first time I'm actually wearing it. And one of the things that I noticed is that it helped me to push through fears. When I was in 2019, I was going through a lot, and some of the things didn't show up in 2019. Some of it showed up after I took it off, which is surprisingly, it's like, I would say that for me, it worked as a remover of obstacles, things that were in my way, so that in 2020, when everybody else was running out to get Moldavite, I was going through what I could say was things starting to come in. I got a raise that year. My divorce went through in 2020, right before the whole lockdown thing happened. It was like, that's when the synchronicity started to come in for me, because I did the shadow work in 2019. Because my main focus was shadow work, was releasing old emotions, releasing patterns. And I want to find the date of when I had this specific dream. On May 23rd, 2019, I put the Moldavite crystal under my pillow, and it gave me a dream of a man that I meant to meet. And if you go back and watch my story about me dreaming of my soulmate since I was younger, this is before my reading with the YouTube live person. I almost said his name. This was in May of 2019, May 23rd, 2019. And the reading that I had with him that was on YouTube live was in the middle of October in 2020. And he describes the same guy that I dreamt about by putting the Moldavite under my pillow. And I could see in the dream I was a little bit older, life was different, and I met this man spontaneously, and he gave me his business card. So we'll see when that happens. But this was something that Moldavite gave me a lot of premonition dreams that have come to pass. This is one that's still in the holding, but all the other ones came to pass within a couple of years after working with it. My stuff was, again, clearing old patterns before the new stuff could come in. The dreams started becoming very, very vivid, like very vivid. And I was working through a lot of fears. And I would say I'm more of a spiritual person, even though I grew up in a household where we did, like my grandmother who raised me, she was very, she practiced Hinduism, and she lived by the philosophy of that. And yes, I do have certain like statues and tapestries and things like that. And I do have those things in my house, but I don't practice it as a dogma. It's there, it's part of me, it's part of my life. But I want to tell you something. We didn't, I never actually worked with any deities or goddesses or anything like that, but I've had, and this is what most people that do like the paganism and things like that, they say a deity usually chooses you to work with. Well, when I was working with Moldavite, one deity came to me in a dream that I would have never anticipated to having a dream about, and that was Kali. When I started to work with her more, especially with Moldavite, she just kind of appeared to me, especially in that dream where I dreamt about her. And basically her message was not to fear what was going on in my life. And so I took some notes of what she represents. She represents transformation and rebirth. And at that time, I was going through a huge transformation in my life of old beliefs, limiting patterns, unhealthy relationships. As you guys know, fear-based living. I was very much in fear because I didn't know what was happening. I was using Moldavite to do shadow work. So I'm not surprised that her essence came in. She's very protective. She helps remove obstacles, which, think about this, in 2020, my divorce finalized, which was fantastic. My discernment went up since working with her energy. It strengthened my inner resilience. She somehow appeared as soon as I started working with Moldavite and doing shadow work. She was like right there, because look, May 29th, 2019, this is 10 days in to working with Moldavite. And yeah, some of the things I questioned was while working with while working with Moldavite and Kali's energy, I started questioning, like, what am I clinging to? What am I afraid of releasing? What would happen if I trusted this change? My whole thing was not fearing change, because every single time I've gone through a transformation, the change, yes, it can be very scary, and I've talked about this. But at the same time, once that change happens, there is a liberating feeling of, okay, now I can start the new. I know the unknown is scary, but it also is a part of the journey. And that's how I felt. And it's kind of funny because I put the hibiscus back there. I just felt like for this video, and I didn't think about it, and I just thought about it now, is that the hibiscus is also associated with Kali. It's actually on I think I'm gonna grab the deck. It made me think of a deck that I have. G followers would know this deck. I think I used it a couple times when I first got it. It's the Keepers of Light Oracle cards by, I think this is Kyle Gray. And I know, I don't do my card pulls anymore. I'm sure a lot of people really enjoyed those. So let me just find Kali. Where are you? These are beautiful cards. I actually enjoy these so much. I haven't used it in such a long time because this is like a card deck that I find very sacred. And there she is. So let me just get that glare out of there. So yeah, you can see she's very much associated with hibiscus. And I feel like even like sharing this, and I actually just bought that hibiscus yesterday. Again, maybe she's coming through to help share this information with the... Oh, interesting. Guys, you know what? I don't get... This is so funny. Okay. So my OG followers would know that I'm clairaudient and I can receive messages as soon as I touch oracle cards. And I just want to share this with you guys. So anyone watching this video, think about this. What we went through in 2020 was changes. A lot of people it was the most fierce time, right? And people were going through spiritual awakenings at that time. Everyone was running to go get Moldavite, right? And we were in the unknown. And I can feel like her energy is telling us not to worry and fear of the unknown. So anyone that wants to work with Moldavite and you're ready to work with Moldavite, just do your research. Don't be afraid when you work with it, because what it does is sometimes it amplifies that fear. Be courageous if you're going to work with it, and understand it's going to bring transition, and you will feel more called to Moldavite. You know, again, my videos are going to be based on my experiences. A lot of it's going to be very metaphysical. It's going to be sharing things that I've learned about stuff. I will give some history about like the crystals that I talk about, and that especially this tektite. And yeah, you guys, she's powerful, I'm telling you. Kalima, facing your fears. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Love this card deck. So yeah, I can't even touch a card deck without getting a message, and I definitely got one. So you guys, if you want to start seeing oracle card videos, just let me know. I mean, I can do them once in a while. I can do them during the new and full moons, because I have so much going on. I just don't have time as much anymore to do those weekly cards that I used to do. But if you want to see them during moon cycles, I can definitely do that, because as you saw, as soon as I touched that deck, there was a message that wanted to come through. There's a few crystals that you can work with while alongside using Moldavite, because Moldavite can make you very much crown chakra opening and also heart chakra opening. So sometimes you need a little bit of kind of balance when you're working with Moldavite, especially because you can feel it. It can make you a little bit floaty. So best crystals to pair with Moldavite. Number 1, black tourmaline. I found this one the best. It helps with grounding, protection. It helps you anchor during periods of change, because trust me that it's gonna feel like a roller coaster a lot of times. The second one is smoky quartz. I kept this around my bed. I actually kept this around my bed when I was sleeping. It also helps to ground. It helps with emotional stability, helps to release heavy and stagnant energies. It's gentler than black tourmaline. Black tourmaline, you can really feel that grounding energy. Clear quartz, symbolically, this also helps to amplify intentions. So if you have an intention, like I did with shadow work, the clear quartz will help with that, support clarity, and it just complements really well with Moldavite. The one that I used, like I talked about dream work, right? I'd used Herkimer diamond, and often this is associated with heightening spiritual awareness, dream work, as you saw that I talked about Kali coming into my dreams with a message. It also helps with meditation, frequently paired one. A lot of enthusiasts love this crystal with Moldavite. I sometimes switched out the crystals because I felt like I wanted a little bit of certain different, because I wore this Moldavite for 6 months. Oh, and that's the other thing I forgot to mention before I tell you the properties of labradorite, is that you kind of want to wear Moldavite on and off for a few days before, and not just cold, like jump on it like really quickly, because it takes, you want to integrate it slowly, and not like what I did was just wore it for 6 months. So labradorite, it's great for intuition, transformation, mysticism, protection during periods of change. Another one. I didn't bring amethyst. Do I have any amethyst? Amethyst helps with spiritual growth, meditation, calmness. It also helps to balance like the energy with Moldavite when you're going through a lot of intense symbolism, changes, things like that. But yeah, those are some of the options. Like my favorite are the top 3, which is black tourmaline, herkimer, and labradorite. Those are my favorite ones. I gotta get this Moldavite off of me because it just makes me such a channel, guys. I'm telling you, I'm actually more perked up in this video compared to my other videos. I couldn't even stay on track most of the time. So hopefully this execution of this video came out okay. Again, do not put the Moldavite on like and wear it like 5 days in a row, and then like kind of take it in small amounts. Maybe put it under your pillow at first. I don't know. But anyways, thank you so much for watching my video. And again, I'll be doing more videos just like this one on other crystals. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.